Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Our next guest has his finger on the pulse when it comes to the big screen, and he's back to help us navigate some of the big films coming out. We're trying out a Film Flash segment with Emmy-winning film critic Jackson Murphy. Hey, Jackson, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Hey, great to see you. Thanks for having me back.
We're excited to have you here, excited to talk about some of these movies. Let's jump right back into this one. Your list starts off with Bad Boys, Ride or Die. What's your take on this one, buddy?
It is the fourth film in the franchise that began in 1995, and the last one made more than $200 million domestically just before the pandemic 4 years ago. This is Will Smith's first pure theatrical release since the 2022 Oscar slap. He and Martin Lawrence are back as Mike and Marcus, detective lieutenants for the Miami PD. Now, their captain who died is being accused of corruption and working with the drug cartels, so they got to figure out what's going on. Returning directors Adil and Bilal, who did the last one, they also directed that Batgirl movie that I hope at some point gets released. Yeah, Sony's got a lot riding on this. They need a hit because their other movies this year have kind of underperformed. So they're hoping for a $50, maybe $60 million opening weekend. That would be strong.
All right, now everybody's asking, since this is the movie that the big release since the slap, do you think this is actually going to be redemption for Will Smith?
It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Will Smith because, hang on, yeah. It's going to be very interesting with Will Smith because it's been 2 years, and I don't know if audiences are fully ready to see him back on the big screen in a big movie. There are going to be some who say, sure, he was the king of the summer blockbusters in the 90s, the 2000s. And there are going to be some who say, I'm not quite ready yet, even in a comedy setting, an action movie setting. So I think enough people will go, but maybe not everybody who went to see the last one.
It makes a lot of sense, too. And was this a COVID movie, meaning they started it right around the COVID time? Do you know? I'm putting you on the spot here. I don't know if you know that or not. Is it?
They actually filmed this very recently because I think Will Smith's been trying to bounce back from his career, the career low of the Oscar slap. They just filmed this. In fact, they just finished filming it like 3 months ago, which is a very fast turnaround for any movie.
All right, next movie up, The Watchers. Tell us about this.
Yeah. This is a horror movie, and horror has been so hot this year at the box office with so many films, Imaginary, Immaculate, Late Night with the Devil. This one, based on a novel that came out just 2 years ago, and it stars Dakota Fanning, who's been beloved by generations. She plays Mina, who's part of a group that is trapped in a forest. Ooh. So this is directed by Ashana Night Shyamalan, who is M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, and this is her feature directorial debut. And because horror's been so hot, because this is PG-13, this is kind of counter-programming to Bad Boys Ride or Die. I think a lot of young people will go to this, a lot of people who like Dakota Fanning, and Warner Brothers, clearly in the Shyamalan family, because they've got a movie called Trap that M. Night Shyamalan has directed that's coming out in August. So they like the Shyamalans for sure. I think The Watchers will do pretty well.
All right, moving on to Hitman. Now, is this another Will Smith movie, Hitman?
This is Richard Linklater's. Yeah, this is Richard Linklater's latest film, and he's a director that I've liked usually over the years. He's directed movies like Boyhood and the Before trilogy and Bernie. This one, though, unfortunately, I think it's kind of a dud. It stars Glenn Powell as Gary Johnson, who is a college professor working undercover for the New Orleans Police Department, and he is working undercover as a hitman. He meets these clients at a diner, and they ask him for his services, and then once they leave, they get arrested. That happens many, many times in this movie. It's very repetitive until something changes a little bit with a character named Maddie, played by Andrea Arjona. So the movie, unfortunately, is very low-key. It's very one-note. It's kind of monotone. It tries to be funny in spots, and that really doesn't work. Glenn Powell, hot off of Anyone But You, is in the Twisters movie. He's kind of forceful with the charm that he tries to give off with his performance in this. Kind of rough, not a lot there, wants to be smart and clever and funny, and it just doesn't get there, unfortunately, for Hitman, which is available on Netflix.
All right, in a minute, can you tell us about your Big City Green Spacecation? I need to know about this.
Sure, this is for the family, and for the last 6 years, the Big City Greens animated series has been a huge hit for the Disney Channel. This is on Disney Plus and the Disney Channel. The Green family goes to space, and there are a lot of hijinks ensue, and there's these great musical numbers. It's this fast-paced energy trying to prevent the end of the world, and it's really fun. The whole family's going to love this, and especially fans of the series. They're going to love seeing these characters in an expanded 80-minute story as opposed to 11 minutes. High energy, high fun. It's good for the summertime. It's good escapism. Big City Greens, the movie Space Station.
Jackson, I love you, buddy. You nail it. Sounds great. Your list has something for everybody. We appreciate you joining us, and we look obviously forward to having you back. You can check out all these reviews on our website, dailyflashshow.com.